time and just go like, is this a cult? Yes, it is. It's a cult with whiskey, the best type of cult of all. All right. It says we're not on, but I know we are. Hold on. There we go. All right. Let's record this for posterity. All right. Yes, this is a cult with whiskey. So there you go. Welcome to my world. All right, let's make sure this is going. It is going. So that means that we can actually start this shindig. And it's Wednesday, so it must be Whiskey Wednesday. There was supposed to be about 30 people here tonight. There's like close to 70. There's 70? That Johnny says there's 70. So, yeah. Well, all right. We're going to try to do this. Can you guys in the back hear us okay? Can you hear Mark?
You got me? Perfect.
Good, Mark, great.
Perfect.
By the way, before I begin, this is Marc Sawyer, everybody. He is now the Northeast brand manager for Heaven Hill.
Correct.
I've known Mark for way too many years. Way too many years. When we first met, what were you doing?
Commonwealth Wine and Spirits.
Commonwealth Wine and Spirits.
Yep.
You've come a long way, my friend. So Mark's here tonight to go over Heaven Hill, the new creative stuff that's coming out of Heaven Hill. One of the last bastions of a family-owned distillery in Kentucky that's still doing things right. Sometimes a little slow, but slow is good. And when you're dealing with whiskey, so no problems there. Did everybody get their opening cocktail? All right. So the cocktail was to make Mark and I sound better. So I hope it does its job. What is the cocktail, by the way?
It is a Manhattan.
It's a Manhattan.
Made with the Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. So only 4 ingredients: Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, Dubonnet, which is also a product of Heaven Hill, water, and bitters. That's it. Pre-batched.
All right. Pre-batched.
And put in the freezer.
And it didn't freeze, which is awesome because we like it that way. All right. Did you guys like the cocktail, the opening cocktail? It's really good, right? Yeah, it's delicious. Yeah. You need more? No, honey. You don't need more. We already know that. She wants more. Give the lady some more. No one else can have more but her. Let's see how. Oh, she asked what? There you go. All right. So let's go into a little bit of history of Heaven Hill and sort of how this sort of all started. We actually have a pretty good history with Heaven Hill also.
Absolutely.
The little group here at Julio's Liquors, we've actually worked with Heaven Hill for, I don't know, 17 years or more or something like that.
Absolutely.
Something like that. So let's start. Give us a little background on Heaven Hill, Mark, and see where we end up.
Sure, absolutely. All right, guys, let's start. Let's get the family history is really the important thing. So the Shapira family is the family that owns and operates the largest distillery in this country. We are the second largest proprietor of bourbon on the planet behind Jim Beam. So the story starts back in the 1910s where Max Shapira.
It's a little hazy because they make whiskey.
Yeah.
You guys understand that, right? Okay.
So back in the early 1900s, Max Shapira's father came over from Germany. He settled in the Bardstown area of Kentucky and opened up a couple of, I would call, Walgreens types, where everything from canned goods to clothing to toothbrushes were sold.
Like a real general store.
General store, right. Absolutely, yes. So we started with that. Actually, Max's grandfather started with that. And then Max, his father, and 4 brothers all had a store in that area as they were growing up. So they each had 5 stores coming into the 1920-ish area. So Prohibition's up and running, ready to go. Someone approached the 5 brothers, which is the name of the bar at our distillery down in Bardstown, approached them with an opportunity. They had some whiskey laid down. They did not have the capacity to keep holding it and then to start distilling after Prohibition, as they know this was going to happen eventually. So that the 5 brothers jumped in the early I think it was 1931, so Prohibition didn't stop till 33. They kept moving, distilling for the government at that stage.
Yeah, there
And
was people going to remember that there were places that were legally allowed to distill.
correct.
And so basically that's where they ended up. What's that? Medicinal value.
Correct.
Well, it still has medicinal value today, just in a different way.
Absolutely. And so in 1935, the first bottle of Heaven Hill was sold to the public. So that after Prohibition, that started that way. So again, and it was just the Heaven Hill family name was what ended up being a working man's beverage, as bourbon was back in those days. It didn't have the esteem that it does today with all the extra aging and the barrel proof and all that. So they started off as very humble in that time frame. Fast forward to 1946, we hired our second master distiller, which is Earl Beam, who was the nephew of Jim Beam himself. So that's how the Beam family integrated within Heaven Hill. He was the master distiller from 46 to, I think, 68 when his son took over, Parker Beam. And everyone knows Parker. Parker's probably one of the three gentlemen that changed the history of what bourbon is today. Hence why we even have Parker's Heritage named after him. So after all these years of developing these brands and purchasing brands at the same time, what happened was we had a tragedy occur in 1996. We had a major fire. It ruined 7 rickhouses, 92,000 barrels occurred. So that was a big issue.
The streets were afire.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. The water, the river that was close by was also on fire, which was kind of crazy to see. So that was 1996. During that time, we could not distill anymore. So our friends down the road, Jim Beam, was distilling all of our juice for us at that time. 1999, thank you, Diageo. They did not see a future in bourbon to this extent, so they sold us the Bernheim Distillery, which we still own and operate right in downtown Louisville. Gets about 1,500 barrels a day out of there. So, and the cool part is where the fire occurred, which we used to call Spring Distillery. We have been building these last 3 years. Our newest facility that is just opened this year. It is still kind of hard hat inside, but we actually started distilling there as of about a month ago. So very impressive in the old site of the old fire. So that is really impressive. That's going to in the next
called
couple
the Phoenix Distillery,
exactly.
rising from the ashes.
In the next couple of years, we'll be able to double the capacity, 1,500 a day there as well.
But you guys, Heaven Hill does a variety of other products too. So I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not like, they are probably one of the few. There are a couple others that do a sort of across the board distillation too.
Correct.
Like different everything. Really everything.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what it is. Yes, we run. What is whiskey? It's its own category. Obviously, it's a mash bill of cereals, and the grains are native to the area. But we use our house style, which is a distillation at 138 proof, barrel at 125. Our char level is consistent across the board with char level 3, unless it's a specialty item. And then obviously we lose the angel share, 3 to 8% during the course of the year. But we do have mash builds for all of the major expressions: bourbon, wheated, rye, high corn, and barley, because a lot of the malted barley, some of the Parkers come out that way. So we use all those distillates. And what is really cool is now that we're tasting the Heaven Hill full lineup of expressions today, that's what's so unique about the grain to glass. Not only the family and working with other families, the Korn family, the Beck's family, the Peterson family down in that area, but these are the first 3 that are different mash builds to the Heaven Hill lineup.
That's fantastic. I mean, like I said, we've been working with Heaven Hill for since we started doing really getting into whiskey. We've always carried Heaven Hill products, but when we started really getting into whiskey, we actually met with Parker, and we were part of the first people to actually do single barrels out of Heaven Hill, and sort of help develop their program of how they were going to actually sell single barrels. And we've always had this hand-in-hand sort of thing. Parker and I got into a couple arguments, but not too many. He was always right. But I always tried to push it a little bit further. We can talk about that later on if anybody wants to, because it led to some really cool things. And besides just that, we also worked with Bernie Lubbers, who was developing a program for people out there that were going to be learning about bottled and bond, and you could be a bottled and bond retailer and stuff like that. So we were actually working with that. As a matter of fact, we've done just even before, just as this was coming out, the new Heaven Hill bottled and bond. We actually did a single barrel of bottled and bond. We've done a single barrel of Rittenhouse Rye. We've done what was the other one? We've done one more. The bottled and bonds. I'm just trying to think of one else. But we're constantly looking at doing and blowing up that whole program so that you guys get to try single barrel versions of some of your really great whiskeys. So I'm actually pretty excited tonight to try the grain to glass, and I have not had the new 7, the Old Fit 7, which is. So for those of you who don't know, Old Fit 7 is going to be a line extension.
Correct.
It will be sort of how this came out.
Correct. Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So don't everybody panic that there's like no one can get any.
I know.
Please do not pay somebody exorbitant amount of money to get one of these. They're going to be more readily available as we continue with the program.
Yep.
Okay. So most of you remember when the Bottled and Bond Heaven Hill came out. It was sort of the same thing. We got a bunch of it. It all sold out. Everybody went nuts. And then it started to dribble in that we could get it more and more. Now it's on the shelf. It's just on the shelf. You can pick it up anytime you want. It's part of the lineup. And that's always what it was meant to be. Yep. And that's what the 7 is going to be.
Exactly. Yep. Right. By August is what our hopes is, to have it readily available to everyone.
Okay.
Yep.
So don't go like, somebody says, hey, I'll sell you one for $300 or whatever. Too late. As they say, there's a sucker born every minute. Thank you, Gavork. It was just, I think Johnny sold it to him, so that's all right. Don't worry about it.
But just to go back, honestly, I don't think we would have Heaven Hill would have the barrel program today if it wasn't for what you were doing, Ryan, back with Parker back in those days. Honestly, and to even have the different options too, bottle and bond. We never thought that was going to be an option for barrels.
That's right.
Being able to have those are absolutely amazing. It's great to bring them to the customers, but honestly, you were the trailblazer with that. So
I will tell you a story now. So we've done McKenna single barrels. We've done Elijah Craig. We've done, you name it. We've done single barrels of it, including we've been trying it. We were trying it for the longest time because Larceny does lock and key. It has a key on it and everything, right? So we were really excited when we get to do those single barrels. Then we get to do cast strength single barrels. But one of the things we used to do, we also did Bernheim, which is a wheat whiskey. A lot of people don't know about wheat whiskeys. I love wheat whiskeys, just straight wheat whiskeys. And my argument with Parker for like 3 years was that you should let us do a single barrel wheat whiskey. And his argument back was, Ryan, they all taste the same. You're not going to find one that has a varying degree, this and that. I go, yes, but I wanted you to let me do it unchill filtered and cast strength. And he says, no. And eventually I wore him down. And he's a pretty stubborn guy. I wore him down. And he said, okay, I'll let you do it unchill filtered, but you can't do cast strength. It's too much of a problem for us. I said, I'll take it. Back then, you could send samples to the Whiskey Advocate at the time. You could send samples to the Whiskey Advocate of anything, and they would rate it. It was the highest rated Bernheim had ever been rated. Okay. Now, I am not going to take care of this, and I do not want Parker haunting my house. but I will tell you that the first Parker's Heritage that Parker put out was a wheat whiskey cast strength unchill filtered. And it's probably one of the most sought after of the Parker's Heritage series. And I did call them up, and I did call them an SOB. Did I get a bottle? Yes, we had plenty of. Listen, the one thing the Shapiro family has been very, very good to us, because anytime that they wanted anything or wanted to know something about the retail thing, anytime about that, they would call, and we would try to take care of it as best we could or answer questions and stuff like that. We've always had. I have actually a letter from Max Shapiro that. And they also nominated me for being a colonel. I am a colonel in Kentucky. So they put my name up for that. So I'll always be eternally grateful for that.
Yep.
And I saw Colin and everybody. I just got inducted in October to the Order of the Writ from the Kentucky Distillers Association. So not too many retailers in that yet, and there can only be 1,776
Wow.
total.
That's it.
That's it. So I got to kill somebody if you want to get in. No, we're not there yet, so which is good. I don't have to kill. I didn't have to kill anybody. I was pretty sure I was going to have to, but I didn't. So they've always been really good to us and very good about being a true partnership. And when we do single barrels, and you guys will see single barrels from us and stuff like that, I think a lot of people lose track. Single barrels are supposed to be a spotlight on the brand. They're not supposed to replace the lineup. It's supposed to say, oh my God, they have a single barrel. We should go try it. Well, if this is really good, maybe a lot of their other stuff I haven't tried, maybe that'll be good. And that's sort of the idea behind doing single barrels and projects, is to pique your interest in the entire lineup and not just one thing. So, and now that I said that, you guys want to try some whiskey?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's try the Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond, aged 7 years, 100 proof, the first one.
Perfect. Yep.
All right. So what can you tell us about that?
So absolutely, people are not always understanding of what bottled and bond is. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. It needs to be aged a minimum of 4 years. This expression is 7. Needs to be barreled at 100 proof. It needs to be in what they call a one distillation season, which is January to June or July to December. So that's why, if you also notice, we come out with 2 expressions a year of the decanter series, because one comes from the first distillation, June to, and then the second one as well. So that's why we always
spring
have
and
2.
fall.
Correct, spring and fall. And then just lastly, when those 4 years, the one that's the caveat behind what bottled and bond is, which was created back after Prohibition for the normal customer to realize they were getting something that was not gut rot. They wanted something that was not going to make them sick.
Bottled and bond meant to sign a quality.
Correct. Absolutely. Right? And to this day, the rick houses are under lock and key, and the government does have it, and they do show up on a daily basis to check it out. So yes, that is a true thing, and it does happen. Yes, every single day they go to one of the rick houses to check it out, at least. So very impressive.
And then they take samples, and then they go.
Well, that's John. That's John.
That's John. That's how that came about.
Exactly.
You had a revenue that dipped a little, you know what I'm saying, into the barrel. So, geez, corruption in government. Who would have thunk it? But the Heaven Hill project, I know also was sort of a we were able to pick some barrels from there, and we got to pick. We actually ended up picking, because we do our picking blind. We don't ask. We just try the samples and we go from there. We 1 or 2 of those were from the Deatsville rick houses. And the Deatsville rick houses are really weird because they go up, and you'd have a roof that would just go on the top. The Deatsville go up, and then they pop up again. So the 7th floor is basically in this one track down the middle of the rick house. And we've actually picked some from that 7th floor in that area. And that, I will tell you, Parker was he liked what a lot of the whiskeys that came out of Deatsville. Doesn't mean good whiskey can't come out of anywhere else, but there was sort of a consistency of how Deatsville sort of set up and the way it looks that would produce really nice whiskeys, and he would go there and look for them. So Deatsville was one of his favorite spaces to pick whiskey when he was looking for something special.
Yep. And then this Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond, this is what we call our HH Reg. That's our everyday mash build. That's 78 corn, 10 rye, 12 malted barley. Like I was saying before, we pretty much have used 5 mash builds for the majority of our brands. Everything from Evan Williams, Elijah Craig, and Larceny to Bernheim to Pikesville to Rittenhouse to Henry McKenna, and then even into the Parkers, the old Fitzes and everything. So we just have 5 mash bills until we came out with this year. But the Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond is our classic, our HH Reg. So higher corn content than I would say most.
Yeah, but what's the malted barley in this?
12.
12.
Yeah.
So that's high.
Yeah.
That's always been one of the higher. And if you notice a lot, if you guys really pay attention to mash bills, you will notice a lot lately that a lot of the whiskeys that are coming out that are getting a lot of press and a lot of people touting them have a higher malt mash bill. The malt in there is higher than the 4, because you only need like 3 to 5% to kick off the fermentation and stuff like that. So you only need really that much. Anything else added that is for other purposes. For mouthfeel, it's for flavor. All right. So this had always had a high malt content, which isn't atypical.
Correct. Absolutely. But again, this is the first real signature. This is our flagship brand now. We finally came out with something that has the Heaven Hill name right on it, and I couldn't be prouder of this 7-year bottle and bond.
What do you guys think? It's sort of an underrated. It got a big splash when it first came out. Now you can just get it on the shelf, and it sort of, people have sort of died down, and I think they forgot how good it was. So this actually rates in my shelf gem category. Things that you can just go buy that are on the shelf that shoot higher than their pay grade.
Love it.
All right. So keep that one in mind when you're looking for something a little bit different. You can taste this now. Tastes really good. It's got that little bit of sweetness at that end. Great mouthfeel, and it's not even crazy. It's not like under $50.
Yeah.
So.
And when it launched in 19, it was number 4 whiskey of the year when it did launch.
Yep. So if you like that one, that's a good one to keep in mind, because, like I said, it's all readily available.
Yes.
All right. So now we're going to start into the grain to glass series.
Yeah.
All
this is something really new, cool, unique.
What series just popped up? No, sorry, Siri, I'm not talking to you.
So this one is, again, has been in the works. Max Shapira and the gentleman from Beck's family and the gentleman from Peterson family, which owns the corn farms down in Kentucky, have been thinking about this for 7 or 8 years. They wanted to do something where even on the bottle, you could see the strip of corn in the field that this was coming from. So this is very unique. And then to change up the mash builds for us. So this one is not as high corn and is sweet, but it does got a little punch to it too, because we're at 107 proof with this.
So this is the first one, which is the blue label, right?
Yes.
So that one is 6 years old at 107 proof.
Yes, with the corn contents only at 52%.
Oh, so it's
a
little bit over the minimum that you need for bourbon, but it's just over it.
Exactly.
And this is you were even telling what corn seed varietal you're using. This is Beck's 6158.
It's crazy.
Like I would know, but it's there.
And it is a proprietary corn that the families have created together.
Right. Really cool. All right, so let's try that one out. See what we think. Great nose on it. Really nice nose.
What was that? 35 and 12.
35 rye.
13, excuse me.
13?
13. Just math.
It's all math. Wait a minute. You're at 101%. Yes, sir. That's how much we pack into that one bottle. 101% of it. All right.
Yeah, it's so different than anything in the family that we've ever come out with bourbon wise,
We can't get, is there, how are these going to go forward? Because we don't always have these in stock. Are they going to be periodically coming out, or are you trying to shoot for it on the shelf all the time? What's the game plan?
Yeah, that's the good question. That's the hard question to answer.
$64,000.
Correct. So this is just the expressions from 2024. This year in 2025, we're going to have completely new expressions.
Okay.
I've only got the mash build so far and proof on, or excuse me, not even the mash build, the proof on the new bourbon that'll be coming next month. That's right around the same. It's at 105 proof, and the mash build's a little bit different.
Okay.
So the idea.
So these are the last of what's available.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is some in stock, especially of the bourbon. There is some. We got a little extra allocation, especially when it got the number 5 whiskey of the year this past year. We had to get a little extra here in Mass, so I grabbed a couple extra 100 cases. So we've got a little left going around.
Okay. Now one of them I think I just ordered and I got the last of it.
That was probably the wheat.
It was the wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the wheat had the smallest allocation, unfortunately. But the game plan with this moving forward is to come out, instead of our normal 3 expressions a year that we would as we do like the A, B, and C's of Elijah Craig and Larcenies. That was the thought, but to break it up. So this first next month, we are going to get 2025 version of just the bourbon.
Okay.
And then in the fall, October, we'll get the rye, and then January, we'll get the wheat. So we'll get it all at once instead of having all three expressions at once
All right.
blowing out.
So if you want to keep up with the thing, you just buy bottles all year round.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. What are you laughing at? Makes it fun. You get something to look forward to, right? They're like, no, we want them all at the same
Yeah,
time.
I know. And more wheat. I know. Everyone.
What do you guys think? You like this one? You like this one? Yeah. That's good. Listen, I have to tell you, like right now, like I have not, there's some I like more than others, but I've not really hit anything from Heaven Hill that I've been like, what are you guys doing? Like questioned like what you've been doing. It's all like, again, this is reason there's Coke and Pepsi. Not everybody's going to like everything, but the quality and the commitment has always been in each product.
Absolutely. And that's the Shapira family.
Yeah.
That's Max, chairman of the board, who took over in 71, still chairman of the board to this day. He stepped away from the president role 2 years ago, and his daughter, Kate, and son-in-law, Alan Latz, have taken the reins. Kate was the chief marketing officer. Alan was the chief financial officer, and now they're co-presidents. I mean, they do everything family, quality, craftsmanship. That's their MO. So,
and they get a great master distiller.
Well, I mean, Connor O'Driscoll, I wouldn't even call him a master distiller. He's a scientist.
Yeah, he is.
It's unreal.
Connor's a really cool guy. If you ever get a chance to go down there and get to meet him or anything like that, we've had him up here.
Yeah.
I'd like to get him back.
Absolutely.
He's a really good guy.
I know his daughter's going to BC. We got to get
That's
him up
right.
Here.
I keep saying, well, I think he didn't come up last time because my daughter goes to BU and they beat them in the bean pot.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that might have something to do with it. My daughter didn't even know they played hockey. So, all right. So the next one is the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Kentucky Straight Wheated Bourbon, 121 proof, aged 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're still using the same corn varietal.
Yep.
But obviously, the next ingredient after that corn is it still what's the breakup of this one? The breakdown.
Yeah, the breakdown. So this one is also super high in corn, 35%. 35 wheat, excuse me, 35% in wheat, 52% in corn. So it stayed with the same corn content.
But the rye was replaced with wheat.
Wheat, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want to do the math and tell me how much?
Yeah, 13. I think 13.
There you go.
I think we're still there.
And 101%. I like that. The nose is really good. I don't. Let me taste this and I'll tell you what I'm thinking. All right, this is my sort of thing with wheat. To me, wheat it doesn't have like the huge flavor component. Wheat doesn't have, I don't think, has a huge flavor component. However, it does have a mouthfeel. So I think from wheat you get mouthfeel, but I also think because it doesn't have you get more barrel influence on wheat. And the barrel influences come out in that sort of caramel vanillins, that sort of creme brulee. I mean, I taste in this one. Really sort of a shine through the distillate. And I love wheated. I love a lot of the wheated like a lot of the rye too, but I do like a lot of the wheat. Yes. You think it's sweeter? I think it lets the corn show. It can be if it tastes sweeter. It can be do two things. It can because I don't think it has more. I think it has more mouthfeel than like a huge flavor component. I think you get barrel and you're going to get the corn and the barley are going to shine through a little bit more too. Rye, adding rye the spice component of that does sort of mask some of the sweetness, and I don't think in wheat doesn't do that. Yeah. Although this has a little bit of pepperiness to it too, though. Mm. What do you guys think of this one? All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, it's the high proof. I'm convinced.
It's the high proof.
I'm with you on the wheated. I agree 100% with you. I know we've been on the same page for the wheated for a long time, but it's the high proof that makes makes it for me.
Yeah, it does have a high proof. I don't know if I was drinking a glass of this though, I don't know if I'd be drinking it at 121. I'd probably add some really nice water and bring this down a little bit because I think a lot of other stuff, a lot of other flavors will explode on this one.
Yeah.
And I'd probably end up drinking it at like about 110. I mean, it's not like I'm not crazy,
Yeah.
but I think that would probably show a little bit better and do it. And you can try it. It was really weird. We're doing a barrel of tequila, and we can actually pick whatever ABV we want. We can do cask strength. We can do 80. We can do whatever we want. And we're trying it, and a lot of people would automatically go cask strength. We started fooling around and go, holy junk, at 101, all of a sudden these other flavors just showed up. And it was so much more interesting at the 101. We're going to bottle it at 101. Why wouldn't you? We were like, oh, well, let people, and I'm under the same thing. Let people sort of do what they want. I think more people are apt to do that with whiskey. They are not apt to do that with tequila. Correct. Not many people are adding water to the tequila. So I think it's more indicative that you should be showing the tequila at the ABV you want to show it at. Mm-hmm. Where I think now we've educated so many people on bourbon that they'll add water if they want to, and they make whiskey concentrate. So if you add a little water, right, you get more than a 750, right? You get more than 100%. So this is really nice, though. You guys like this one? Yeah. I'm just going to let you guys know. I asked for 3 cases of each of these. I only got 2 of this one. So there you go. So they owe me a case. Yes. I don't know if they'll be getting any more, but you might have to wait till the next version of this comes out. Both. How about both?
Yeah.
It's because they don't make as much of it, and not as much get allocated to Massachusetts. So what a lot of companies will do, and I'm sure Heaven Hill is doing this, they put out an allocation, everybody gets it, and they sort of see where it goes. All right? Because there's some states that it's not a big deal, and there's other states it is a big deal. And then they try to move product to where it needs to go. We didn't originally, I don't think we originally we were out. We got more.
Correct.
Right?
We got more. Yes.
We got more. So it was the fact that it took off here, and then they gave us some, or they might have, did they take it from another market?
No,
sometimes they do that.
They do. Yeah.
You try not to, because it's a lot in transportation and taxes and all this other stuff. So they try not to do that, but I've seen it happen.
But they also have to, there's a lot of control states out there, which the state controls we understand what that situation is. And unfortunately, those are the ones who usually grab first, and then we're stealing their back ends sometimes. That's why we get extra on the back end. Allocation is what it is up front, and we're always scrounging for more. So, yeah, I know.
You drink it, they'll get it. All right. So now we got this is straight rye whiskey. So now we're going to rye. And this one still has corn in it, of course. This rye, same corn thing. But now I would assume we're going to be, the rye is going to be the 51 or more percent.
63.
63% rye.
That's why this one to me is an absolute rock star. We have never, ever, Heaven Hill's never come with a high rye. Not like this. If you're a rye drinker, please tell me your thoughts on this. I know the Northeast isn't known for rye drinking. I know more of a mid-Atlantic situation, but honestly, if there's a rye out there that you want to try, please, this is a
So
go-to.
it's how much rye?
63.
And how much corn?
35. No, excuse me, not 30.
Let's do the math again. It's not mathing again.
Gee, 24.
24.
63, 24, and 13.
13. Okay.
Yep.
14 because it's 101.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can smell it on the nose. I mean, you really can. It's right on the nose. That's a pretty good rye. That's 123.2. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys to do. Who's a rye drinker? Do you guys like this? Do you like this? Yes. Are you not? Who's not a rye drinker? Do you still like it? It's okay. All right. That's okay. That's fair. It's the reason why there's Coke and Pepsi is in the world. And some of us like RC. But just do me a favor. You all have water, right? Okay. take like put it in your cap. Put like 2 drops of water in your cap. So you don't douse this whiskey. Put 2 drops in your cap and then drop it into your sample. I just want you to try it. Did you drink it all? Not in your baseball. No, not in the cap. The cap to the water, sir. Not your baseball cap. Yes, that's right. I'm gonna tell him everything. Thank God. Thank God his 2 shoes are already tied. All right, try that. See what you. All right, try that. I'll do it too. Sir, I want you to pay close attention to what I'm doing. Put it in the cap and then tip it in the cap. That way you won't overdo it. Because if you slip, all of a sudden it's all water, right? I've drunk more whiskey that way, trying to get that number right. All right, so try. For those of you who weren't like, try that now. For those who do like rye and just did that too, try it again. What do you think? Changes up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All of a sudden that mellows out a little bit more. It's not on the high highs. You actually start getting a more balanced whiskey. And now you can taste some of those. Not only I get like cinnamon, right? Not only that, you get some baking spices in there, and it takes that like edge off. You're not getting that because when I first tried it, I got some of that like sort of spruce tree, sort of flavors, and now all of a sudden it's more like baked spices and cinnamon. Do you guys get that, or am I leading you down a primrose path, telling you what you're tasting?
Nope, it's exactly.
No? Okay. So now, who likes this one? All right, I got a couple of the rye drinkers to raise their hand, non-rye drinkers to raise their hand. Most with water. You like it with water. That's okay. You can like it better with water. You get whiskey concentrate. You're going to get more than a 750. All right. All right. I know I've been making them wait all this time, and they've been dying to try the 7. As have I. Yes. Okay. You're going to start giving. Okay. Kevork is going to give you some of his bottle. So just put, huh? They don't make it anymore. Just put this one on the side. We're going to try that one last. Okay. Which one is it? Let me see it. I'll talk about it first. No, we won't surprise anybody. There's a bottled and bond Heaven Hill old style bourbon, Kentucky. It's of course it has 100 proof because it's bottled and bond. When somebody says bottled and bond, you don't even have to ask the proof, right? You know what it is. It has to be 100. Bottled and bond, by the way, is a good way to taste whiskeys from different companies. It's more like comparing apples to apples. Because if you try one whiskey from one company that's 80 proof, and you try another whiskey, let's say bourbon from somebody else, and it's 110, and it's this and that. Bottled and bond's a really great one because it's sort of the standard is set. It's sort of a good way to do it.
That's how you found the house style.
House style, right? Yep. Yeah. So this is charcoal filtered too. I should put that out too because they don't make this one anymore. You're going to get to try it tonight though. All right. So put that one aside because we're not going to be there yet. Yes. Oh, he wants to try it now. Okay. Yeah, but he's just handing them out. Okay. Stab me, please. All right. Yeah, you can try it at the end. If you get it and you want to try it, that's fine. We're moving on. Everybody stay up with the tour, please. I should have one of those flags. Everybody stay with the tour, please. I'll let you know, and I'll tell you this before anything. If you ever come with me to anywhere and you get to go to like the distillery, because we've run trips and people have gone, and I hope to start doing that again. When you go to distillery, the first rule is it's not Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. Don't touch anything. You cannot pull a chain. I don't want you to touch anything without permission. If you want to touch something, you say, not even ask me. You ask whoever's showing us around. Hey, that looks really cool. Can I touch that? I don't know why, but people like to touch things. And I don't get it. Because usually it's hot or something that is going to ruin everything. That's the only time it's happened. Every time I tell people don't touch anything, they touch something that's hot. Like little kids. It's hot. Or I had somebody pull a chain, which we all had to leave the distillery. So they could fix it. What's that? Malt Angels is okay. We had permission to do that. Don't start throwing that in my face. We had permission to do the Malt Angels. That did not get us kicked out of anywhere. Let's point that out. All right, so the new one now that's out, that just came out, everybody's fighting for it. Kavork paid $300 for it. Twice. Because the guy didn't show up the first time, so he asked for another 300 and he gave it to him again. And this is the Old Fitzgerald bottled and bond 7-year-old.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now this is going to be made all year round now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is the plan is to have this out everywhere as of August. Anyone can have as much as they want of this. This is our traditional wheated bourbon mash build.
Yeah.
So 68 wheat, 68 corn, 20 wheat, 12 malted barley. So that's
we're going to send you back to remedial.
I know.
God,
God,
know
there's
that.
too many.
Too many numbers. They're all coming back to me at once.
But this is the same mash bill as Larceny.
Yes.
So yeah, exact same mash bill, bottled and bond. So it's 100 proof, 7 years, 7-year aged statement. The package, fantastic. They did a great job matching up to the older brother there, the old Fitz Decanter
I love
series.
the package. Package looks great, but I don't drink a package, sir.
That is true.
Yes, and that's a double entendre. So, anyways, bottled and bond number 7, 100 proof, wheated whiskey, wheated bourbon, I should say. Salute. I've waited to try this with you guys. I have not tried this yet.
Well, cheers.
I'm going to give it the New England seal of approval. That's not bad. That doesn't suck. Doesn't suck at all. You're getting so many compliments tonight. It's like a New England field day here. That's really nice. I like that a lot. What do you guys think? Yes? You liked it? You liked it, which means it's gone. I get some thumbs up from the back over there, which is great. Miss, was this better than the cordial, the cocktail? Did you like that better? Cocktail or this? Cocktail? Cocktail, okay. Just checking. Just checking.
Yeah, we're very excited for this.
This is really good. I like this a lot.
I'm excited for it to be every day.
Yes.
That's what I'm waiting for.
All right. If those who want, Kavork has now given you the other one. How much did you spend on these, Kavork? You have a case of these? $300 a bottle? You have a case of them? Wow. Become friends with Kavork and steal his whiskey. All right. Before I try the last one, I am going to go back and try the one that Kavork was so generous enough to let us have.
Thank you,
So
sir.
just so you guys know, Lock and Key Society, which this is Whiskey Wednesday, was started by Lock and Key Society, is still basically a whiskey club. And great people like Kavork, and we have Megazone over here, bring stuff in. Sometimes we do potlucks, we do all this other stuff, but it is still considered a whiskey club. So it's very nice when somebody brings something in that you guys might not be able to get, that you can now try and at least say you've had it. Okay. Thank you, Kavork.
Thank you, sir.
Kavork said he'd like $1 from each of you. He's getting the $300 back. No, there's a couple different things we can get into. Whether charcoal filtration is allowed, and there are several brands that do charcoal filtration. It's how you do the charcoal filtration. It can be cartridges. Kavork, that's pretty good. That's really nice. That's like, you got to remember, this was just like on the shelf, like. No bells and whistles, no hoopla, no people writing, expounding the in poetry the aspects of this whiskey. It's just damn good whiskey, right? Solid whiskey. All right, so now we're gonna get to one that most of you will not get. It's just a fact of life. They don't make enough. I've tried to make them make more. I've tried to make them send us more. Our salesman's back there. He's beat up people so we could get more. Anybody that didn't take their allocation, we took. So we try to get more. And we do it through our whole card system. So We do work on trying to get you guys whatever we can get you and run it through our system at a normal pricing. But they just don't make enough of it. And what we do get our allocation, and this is the Old Fitzgerald bottled and bond. This is the spring 2020?
No, so
2025.
the description wise, we don't have anything built up.
Oh,
for
okay.
the-
All
for
right.
the
All right.
brand new.
I'm like,
So,
oh, wait a
so
minute.
I took a 9-year from years ago. So tasting notes at least. Can be
Tasting notes,
close,
but we're
'cause-
trying the 2025.
Yes, sir.
So this is the one that's just released. I know some of you picked up your bottles already. Some people did get theirs. We did get a little bit more, and we picked more cards. So I haven't given anybody's cards yet because I'm still hoping I can get more. Right, Steve? Yeah. He's not going to get me more, but he likes to give me the thumbs up. All right, so this is the Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond Spring 2025, and this is a 9-year-old. So basically, this is 2 years older than
Absolutely.
the other,
Yep.
right?
But again, even I do not try this. So this is very, what was that? Same mash bill. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Allocations are kind of the bane of the existence sometimes in our universe, just because we want everyone to try this liquid. You know, that's the whole point, is for everyone to get to try this and have this. Wow. Fortunately, it doesn't always work that way.
So if anybody doesn't want their bottle, I will drink the rest of it for you. You like that? Yeah, you like that? The Old Fitz are always the same mash bill.
Yep.
Yes. If it says Old Fitz, it's the Old Fitz mash bill, and that's what he just described to you. That's a really good question because a lot of people like, well, this one's older. This is that. It's always the same mash bill.
Correct.
If they change the mash bill, they probably would not be under the Old Fitz label, or they'll tell you they did something, like if it had a finish on it or whatever. But usually they say those for like the Parker's stuff.
Yeah.
The experimental line is really the Parker's heritage stuff.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. Yeah, because this is the same mash bill as Larceny. So
Larceny, Old Fitz are the same mash bill. They're the weeded mash bill for Heaven Hill. All right.
And again, from a marketing standpoint, we try to tie the fact in that they're little brother and sister together because of with the whole lock and key, and the whole story behind John E. Fitzgerald, which the story is true. He was a real person. He was a night security guard at Heaven Hill.
And he was a thief.
And he was a darn good thief.
There's no shame in that.
Nope.
No, that's, and I got to tell you, we actually saw I actually have one of the shirts on for Larceny. We saw the label being created, and we're like, we need to have that because it's lock and key. Yes. Yes. It's also from it is the same mash bill. It's aged longer, but it can be also from a different distillation. So in other words, the last one you tried is from the spring, is only barrels that were done in the spring at that distillation. Yep. The 7-year could be from and I believe it is, from a different distillation.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Period. So I don't think we're designated on this fall or spring.
No, I don't believe
there's going to be not a designation.
They will be, though. We will come out with fall and spring, but I don't think it does change from that perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that unclear to everybody? All right. Well, listen, Mark, I really want to thank you coming in and doing this. Obviously, I think everybody came in to try some of these things, which was great. Thank you very much. It's been great.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure.
Appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for coming here. We're going to say goodbye to the people on Facebook. And if you ever want to see this, you can go wherever you get your podcast. Look for It's the Liquor Talking. If you're having trouble falling asleep at night, these are really great to listen to. But we're going to end Facebook now. Thank you for joining us on Facebook. The only thing, you should have been here. It was awesome. All right. We'll say goodbye to the Facebook people.